Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to the Chouteau County Library Board of Trustees June meeting. If you haven't already, please grab an agenda so you can follow along and sign in on our guest list if you haven't already. I call this meeting to order at 12:01. Are there any additions to the agenda, ladies? If not, then I'll call for public comment. This is for items on the agenda. Please stand up to the microphone, state your full name, and we'll take public comment for 3 minutes for each. Please.
Carolyn O'Hara, library clerk at Fort Benton. I've been employed by the library for over 18 years. I've never seen a more qualified assistant director than Maren Ingen. She has a master's degree in library science, and she has excelled in her position. She did not quit her job. It was systematically gutted by the board writing our job. For the life of me, I do not know why the board wrote our job descriptions. They never have before. Frankly, and with all due respect, the board does not know what we do. Does the school board write teachers or superintendent's job descriptions? No. Does the hospital board write the job descriptions for doctors, nurses, and CNAs? I think not. But the main reason the board does not write job descriptions is because it is not in the scope of the board's duties. The board's duties are policy and the budget. Job descriptions are not policies, and it is not a budget item. Please let us do our job. Stop trying to micromanage everything. It is inefficient and exhausting for the board and for us. Thank you. And now I have to get back to Mike.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Carolyn. Is there any further public comment? Okay. We'll move into the consent agenda. This includes our May 2026 meeting minutes, the financial reports, as well as our June special meeting to approve the budget. Can I have a motion to accept these as presented?
I make a motion to accept as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? Any public comment? It has been moved and seconded to accept the consent agenda as it was presented. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. We're moving into our branch reports. Darlene, I see you here. Thank you for being here.
Yep. Throughout the month of May, we've been preparing for summer reading and implementing a new program this year in the form of library loot bags. Participants sign up and tell us about their reading interests, and we create personalized bags containing their books, treats, and prizes. And we have received a great deal of positive feedback, and we got more adults this year and teenagers coming into the library, so that has been great. And we, based on our themes for the month, included ALS Awareness Month, Get Caught Reading, National Pet Month, World Donkey Day, Revenge of the Fifth, the Mental Health Awareness Month, and we also did programs of May Day crafts, technology on Thursdays, and art hour. And we've been working on summer reading, been super busy, and glad that everybody's coming in the library.
Thank you, Darlene. Emily, will you give Fort Benton's report, please?
For the month of May, themes on display included Asian American and Pacific Islander Month, mental health, bites, flowers and trees, mothers and grandmothers, caterpillars and worms, chapter books with pictures. After graduation in India, projects included hosting the Pathfinder Federation meeting, a garden party to spruce up the grounds. We hosted the Montana Constitution Roadshow, set up the Montana Tapestry exhibit, and hosted a World War II genealogy program.
Thank you, Emily. Sammy Jo, are you available for Geraldine's report?
Yes.
Sammy Jo?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, thank you. Yes, we can. Oh, we're good. Not now, we can't.
Wait, Sammy Joe. No, what's, she's trying to fix it now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Themes for the month of May and Geraldine were honeybees, baby animals, weather, and gardens. I was working on the final bit of summer reading prep. I'm offering a 0 to 6 story time, 7 to 10 read and craft, an 11 to 18 tween and teens time, and then an 18 and up reading game sheet. That's all I
Thank
have.
you, Sammy Jo. Okay, thank you, Sammy Jo. All right, and then Emily, could you give us your director's report, please?
Yes, I sent out the staff engagement and communication documentation, collection management and team involvement was included on that. We are now working through, Big Sandy has all of their barcodes and labels, bar labels to start implementing that. I went over it with Sarah last Friday at my visit. Fiscal year, the proposed budget was submitted to the county commissioners on June 8th. So we wait and hear back from that, usually not until like September.
Sure.
And so when they get that back to us, I don't have much for lighting update. I haven't, as far as I know, no one on the foundation has met. We are doing a fundraiser during summer celebration with t-shirts that Maren made to raise money for that. I have been in contact with Savannah Sill at the State Library about partners. They are working on rewriting their joining paperwork, and she said that's a few weeks out, so I won't know anything until I get that back from her.
Do we need to put feelers out for foundation meeting for lighting or wait till July?
I
July meeting.
probably can wait till July.
Any questions for Emily at all?
I do have a comment more than a question. I noticed in your communication to us that when you went to Big Sandy, you and Darlene weren't connecting in person, and I'd really like to see the two of you ladies be able to make face to face, and
Right.
even if that requires a specific appointment of date and time, I'll be there, but I really think that would be beneficial for both of you, so.
Yeah, so both my visits in June were scheduled visits.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty, moving in to announcements and dates to remember. Our summer celebration book sale is running this weekend. It's June 26th, 9 to 5, and June 27th, 10 to 2. Emily is asking for volunteers to work, possibly 2-hour shifts.
Yes,
You can
1 or
expect on
2
that.
hours shifts. The sign up is there. The spot that we need for sure is Saturday morning from 10 until 12. Doesn't have any coverage at all.
Sure.
And if we can't get that covered, then we can't cover Saturday. We can't be open at all on Saturday. Carolyn is out of town. I'm involved in community events, and so I can't be there. So the friends have covered a number of other slots, but that's the one slot that we definitely, if somebody can come from 10 to 11 and 11 to 12, or to be here for those 2 hours, it would be greatly appreciated.
I'm out of town that day, otherwise I would jump on that.
I also am out of town.
Moving into all branches are going to be closed on July 3rd, 2026, and this is in observance of Independence Day. And then we'll go into unfinished business. I have an update on our policy. No, excuse me. We're going into policy review, and the first one that is up for an action item is forfeiture of library privileges. So if I could have a motion.
I move that we adopt the forfeiture of library privileges policy as presented to you by the policy committee, which is attached to your.
Yeah, we've had time to review that. Is there a second?
I second.
Go ahead, Ken.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the forfeiture of privileges as presented to us. Is there any discussion over this policy? Any public comment? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Our next policy is internet workstation etiquette. This also came back to us as an action item from the policy committee. So I would entertain another motion to accept this policy as presented.
I move to accept the internet workstation etiquette policy. A second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Or public comment? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the internet workstation etiquette policy as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, this is our second reading of the security camera policy. I'd like a report from our policy committee.
Well, we went back and looked at it again and talked about it a great deal and, if I can find it. Here we go. And, we're presenting it to you, without all the changes that we made to the previous one. So this is kind of where we're at. And, I know that Kim and Cheryl will step in if I misstate or leave something out, but, we really thought that, one of the issues that had come up was that, possibly one of the staff librarians may need to look at the, footage. And we had indicated that only authorized individuals, which we had, identified as the director, and the chairman of the board could look at, but that goes to recorded video, which is under the use and disclosure of video records. And so what we did, to combat that, perhaps misconception is that we added a sentence, under the fourth bullet point of security camera purpose and placement guidelines that says, however, on-duty staff may access camera data. And so that's live feed. And so am I right?
Yeah.
This is, and so, obviously the on-duty staff at any of the libraries can access the camera data. But if you go into the use and disclosure of video records, if on-duty staff thinks that, something was going on in the night or sometime when the security camera would have recorded the activity, then we decided that the appropriate thing is to have them contact the director or the chairman to look at that footage to decide if it needed to be sent on to the police. And then we talked about the fact that this is a sort of working copy right now because we don't actually have security cameras yet. And so we may need to go in and fine tune this policy once we obtain security cameras and see what it is actually that our security cameras can do and how they're set up and who has, how they're sent out, whether it's on the cloud or if it's some little thing that comes through the internet on an app, or we just didn't know for sure what it was going to look like. So we thought that we would submit this to you and say that with the caveat that it may have to come back and to the committee, or it may have to come back and be reviewed after we've actually purchased the security cameras.
Sounds good.
Did I get it right, Kim?
That's why I remember.
Yep, that's
Okay.
exactly how I
Yeah.
remember it.
Yeah.
And part of the reason we want the director and the chairman looped in on any criminal act is so they are looped in on criminal activity. That's one of the reasons that they have to contact one of those two people to look at recorded footage so that doesn't get left out of the communication.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion? So probably hold off then on approving until, or do we approve and then edit as going?
I think you could
I
approve it
think
just to
so.
have
I
it.
think we can approve it with the understanding that we may have to, and
Sure.
we're making this of record, so we all can remember that, we may have to go back.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how quickly we're gonna get security cameras.
That put you on the
Mhm.
list. And do we have the next one to look at too?
So what I would ask to add, so I included. So part of what the policy committee did was move the internet workstation etiquette to the internet use and safety policy. So that internet use and safety policy, and on the back, the public computer use agreement last was looked at in 23.
Okay.
So I thought we could look at that next month for as a first reading.
As a group,
Mhm.
yeah, sounds
Yep.
great. Thank you. Okay, the next item on our agenda is the Big Sandy Branch Library gutter and drainage.
I included the other bit that came in.
Okay, this is discussion only. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
I received a call from Nick Bogart, who had contacted the county attorney. And, our county attorney, Steve Gannon, recommended that he call one of us, and Nick called me. I don't know Nick, I know who he is, but he was quite upset and that his bid had been shown to other contractors. Is that accurate?
I had another contractor that I had reached out to, and since Nick's bid was shared at the last meeting, it's a matter of public record after it's been submitted and opened.
Yeah. Well, and then I see we received a new one in our packet. And Lisa and I met with Steve on Wednesday. No,
Not with-
Tuesday, this is Tuesday, sorry. We met on Tuesday with Steve Gannon about this because Nick, doing business as Concrete Cowboy, was very upset. And Nick asked that I share this with the whole board and his name and his concern. And so after Lisa and I discussed this with Steve, we decided that perhaps the best thing to do, and I think we all of us sitting at the table here have to take some responsibility in this, that when we submit a bid, we perhaps need to look at our protocol a little differently. We've asked Nick, or Steve, excuse me, if the Chouteau County had a policy for procurement of bids. He suspected they did, but he didn't have access to it. And I think we need to pursue that. And I also think that perhaps the commissioners can give us some direction because they must procure bids all the time.
sure.
And so we want to do this right. And I don't feel that we have done this right. I know in my experience, professional experience, getting bids, it's often a sealed bid. And I would like to propose that we start over because we have a contractor upset. And we have asked for 3 bids, and Emily, you're exactly right. It was presented at the May meeting, and I told that to Nick. Then it becomes public information. But at that time, we only had 1. We prefer 3. And I think 3 on something like this is a minimum. And because we do have multiple concrete providers in Chouteau County, which is always our goal. When we go to do our cameras, we may not get 3 or 4 different companies, but in this case, we can. So I would like to propose that we start over, that we apologetically revise our procedure and go back to all of the 3 and perhaps do 2 more, because 2 more names come to mind easily. And Emily, you and I can visit about those names that you might want to talk about that are local experienced Chouteau County, because we do want to support Chouteau County businesses whenever possible. We're spending county money. We want to do it with integrity and fidelity. And So I think that we need to go back, start over and say, we're going to ask you to resubmit. So the two that we have, I would suggest that we table that and ask them for a new sealed bid along with a couple more. From
Right,
your,
and just so that you know how I got looped in, Steve Gannon called me and said, "Did you get a call?" And I go, "No." And so I suggested to him that he said, "Oh, well, then Nick must have called Cheryl." And I said, "Well, could Cheryl and I come and see you?" And he said, "Sure." And so that's how it transpired that we met together. Steve wanted to know if we have a policy on procurement. We do not. And so I guess I can only say that I completely agree with Cheryl. It's a small community. I mean, Chouteau County is just small, and we do not want to antagonize anybody, but at the same time, we want to be wholly fair. And so I think that the solution, if you will, that Cheryl and Steve and I kind of came up with, is a good one, but obviously the whole board has to agree. So we're bringing it to you and saying, what do you think?
I think that's a great way to move forward, as long as we are following, county policy.
Steve hasn't gotten back to me, so I don't,
And I can reach out to
Okay,
commissioners
okay.
to see if they have.
or the commissioners, yeah. I don't know if he was gonna talk to the commissioners. I don't know.
he didn't mention talking to the commissioners, but I've just been mulling this over so much. How can we redo this? We want to do it right. We want to fairly and accurately. And I do not believe that we maybe did anything illegal, but I think that we could have done it better.
Sure.
And so I'd like to add to that, the other component is when these sealed bids come in, that means they're in an envelope sealed, perhaps their signature over the ceiling, which is a typical protocol. And that they not be opened until the next board meeting, and they be opened by the board chair.
Do they have to be opened at a board meeting, making them public record, or can they be kept confidential by being not opened during a public meeting?
At that point, I don't think we want them to be confidential at a board meeting.
But
We want.
We could have the winning one be public. Does that make sense?
But then we're not discussing in front of the public on which.
Right.
I think we should. I think we should discuss in front of the.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we're required to.
Okay.
That's been my professional experience.
You open all of them.
You do not have to take the lowest bid, even though the law does kind of suggest that. There's a lot of caveats. We do not want to hire somebody that we're not confident they're going to do a good job just because they're the lowest bid.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So,
Darlene did provide this for me for everybody to view, the layout of that, if you could pass it around. But if there's no further discussion.
well, the other discussion that we had, which we talked about and all of us were at a loss about, was whether or not in fact the city was supposed to be building the sidewalks.
Or at least the curb access.
Yeah, and we don't know.
Not a big
Not
fan.
big, not in Big Sandy.
Due to the lowering of the street, we were sent a letter that said it is our job to do it, and we could get their contractors that they had provided at that time, and it's past that, and so it becomes our problem.
Okay.
And we weren't concerned at that time to do anything. But you have the handicap accessible, we have walkers, we have wheelchair, we need to have something, and there is nothing anymore. There's a slope coming out that door, and why the hand railing was suggested, because there's been two elderly gentlemen that have fallen down the slope. So some things need to change as the ice buildup, with the drainage is in the concrete and it's only this wide. And so it needs to, something different needs to happen because now the sidewalk from the street has come up. So that it pools and runs all the way down the whole sidewalk, which makes it into a hazard and people have fallen. Including the back drainage where Sarah and I park is, there's ice buildup back there too, which we've fallen multiple times. It's just solid sheet of ice. So, and there's not a drain at all back there. Right onto the side.
So have you obtained an engineer's review of this, or if you just are relying on the concrete guys to do the drainage, right?
When they built, the contractor, Keith Valentine had come in and said it was not a temporary, it was a temporary solution at that time. So they knew there was a problem when they built it. So it's been a problem the whole time.
Yeah, as often happens, yeah.
Yes, due to money is what was happening.
What was that last?
Money.
Oh, money, okay.
We're trying to get it built.
Oh,
All right.
Can I make a small suggestion real quick? I mean, you're doing everything right, but has anyone got contact with EDA for disability and stuff? Cause they have guidelines and they give money. ADA, if it's new construction and stuff for the disability, there's money for that. And then they have certain guidelines.
Public comment.
Well, but we just did twice.
Thank you for that suggestion. We won't take any more further public comment right now. Nope, I allowed it twice. That's on me. Thank you for that suggestion though. Any further discussion among our board about the gutter and drainage?
Do you think this requires a motion?
It's
We
only
can't today. It's
discussion
only
item.
discussion today. It might at our next meeting if we want to do the sealed bid.
If we get bids and
If we get further bids, if we want them to be sealed, that just puts it back further on collecting them. I think our best foot forward would be to check with the commissioners on a procurement policy and how they handle that. And then I would suggest a action item at next meeting if that's how we want to move forward with how we handle acquiring bids. All right, our next unfinished business is an action item. It is our AED placement. So I did want a slight discussion that Emily let me know that there has been another one acquired, so that makes the possibility of 4 units now. We have the one she got from her grant, another one. What's the next one that you?
They had an extra
They had an
after
extra.
all the dust settled, so I was just thinking that then Alex would only have to buy one for the ring.
Sure, I guess
grant
so.
instead of 2.
Sure,
So
good
that
idea.
would save money on her.
Perfect.
And-
She has the money for both is why I didn't know, but that's a good idea. And I can
Yeah.
reach back out to her.
And then with her, I was thinking that if there was extra money that had to be used, then it could go to the batteries and the replacement.
That's a good idea.
I was talking about,
Yeah.
we can find out your free with grants.
Thank you
and
for
stuff.
suggesting that as well. So then, we have one for each branch.
Bruce Newell, who came and installed ours, is going to be in the area on Monday
Okay,
and would come and install this one on Monday if the board decides. I would like to recommend to the board that I go in Geraldine, as Big Sandy has a medical center closer, and we are pretty close to
I
getting
think that's
the
actually a
third
great
unit anyway, so that is my recommendation.
recommendation, actually, where Geraldine is so far out
And there's probably only one other one in Geraldine at the school,
at the school.
but that's not.
Maybe the
open.
ambulance barn, actually.
Oh, they may have
Yeah.
one, but that's usually not open.
No,
Yeah.
because it's all volunteer ran.
Yes, and locked.
Mhm. All right, well, I would entertain a motion to accept our AED placement into each branch. If anyone would like to make a motion.
I move that we place our ADE placement at every branch. And do you want something specific about the one in Geraldine, the one we have available?
I guess we could.
Okay, so moved.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept AED placement in each branch with a specific two placed in, well, we have one placed in Benton and one will be placed in Geraldine. Oh, excuse me. Is there any further discussion? Any public comment?
There's an opportunity, this is Annie Gonzalez, there's an opportunity through the federal transportation, and it is Safe Streets for All. There's an ADA, component to it, et cetera. Of course, it just closed May 26th, but there's an opportunity for funding for fixing issues such as what you're talking about in Sandy.
Really?
Yeah,
Can you stay
So
after?
that's not.
I just texted it to the director.
But that wasn't for the AED specifically.
No, not AED.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. Well, thank you for texting it to Emily. Okay, any further public comment for the AEDs in specifically? All right, it's been moved and seconded to accept the AED placement. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right, we have received applications for each trustee opening. Emily, would you like to expound upon that for us and give us your recommendations? Sorry, not the trustee opening. Oh my gosh, I was just reading that. No, oh my Lanta. Okay, trustee opening, we've had one, we had two applicants. I did reach out to the commissioners and they appointed Carla Ayers on Tuesday. So she will be joining us next month, at our meeting. I'm so sorry. Okay. Any discussion? That's just an update. Okay, and then we'll move into the Highwood survey. Is there any update there, Lisa?
Well, I apologize profoundly. I always intended to go on the website and see if you had put down that it was gonna close on June 30th. I didn't even get that done. I immediately reached out to the school and they must have decided to take some time off because I tried several times to get a hold of it so I could get it in the school monthly newsletter that went out and didn't succeed. And so no one knows that it's gonna close on June 30th. So I don't know whether we should just, I'm open to suggestions. If you want me to try again, I know people are back at the school because I can see their cars are parked there. And there's been some work done around the school that needed to be done also. And so, I apologize that I must have missed either that or they don't check their answering machine. I don't know which, but I did check several times and try to not only call them, but actually go to the school to get this in the school. Anyway, it just didn't happen. And so I'm open to, if you want to just say enough is enough. We don't need a deadline. I don't know if it got posted. I didn't even check that. It did get posted. Okay, so
I think it's been open for quite a while.
Yeah,
And
it
I
has
don't
been.
think you're gonna reach any.
I don't either.
No.
Frankly, I just think that, we haven't had a library for a long time and I think people are just
They're used to it though.
used to not having a library.
Doing the things that.
But I don't want to give up on
No.
the library in
No.
Highwood. I just think that the survey is
Done.
what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
The almost 100% of the people that did submit surveys were in favor of some kind of library services in.
So I think
I
we're
want to say like
Yes.
either 36 or 37 of the 38.
Oh, great. Thank you, Emily, for sharing that with me. So,
So then we would probably get back with our committee, do you think, to see what? our next step
that would be, how is Rich?
we were just speaking that we have not heard from him, so I'd
Okay.
have to reach out if I don't.
I can reach out to him too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Is he responding to emails for the foundation? Not really? Okay, okay. Well, I can get a hold of Adam, talk to him, see, or
Sure.
Mandy
Okay,
too.
I think that would be the best next step is committee to revamp.
Yeah, good
Okay.
idea.
We're moving into new business and now staffing discussion and recommendations, please, Emily.
So the open assistant director position was open to in-county transfer for the required 10 days, and Samantha Summers did put in for that, and I would like to recommend to the board that we accept her application to be the assistant director in Fort Benton.
Do you mind if I ask how that looks for Geraldine?
We would then open that position to in-county.
But would she come directly here or would we wait till we had to fill
Her start date would be August 3rd, so she can finish up the
summer reading
program, which we can, I looked at our July schedule and we can make that work.
Okay, thank you.
For her to come in, and then, I don't know if you want to do them one at a time or.
Go ahead with both your recommendations.
And then, we have had a substitute that's been, on our sub list for a couple of years now. And, Sophia Stewart, and she has put in, so she's already on the county payroll, so that's considered an in-county transfer, and she has applied for the custodial position. And I would recommend that we hire her for that position.
And would these be the same hours as the replacements?
Yes.
Same situation.
But not necessarily the same wages.
How does it work? Don't they
I don't
come
know.
in at enter at a different level?
My knowledge of the other openings throughout county positions is it's actually about the same. They can't,
Custodial would stay the same.
they can't. Well, they can't make less, if it's an in-county transfer, they can't make less than they are currently making.
You're seeing what she's making already.
Are you saying that she would make what she's currently making, just more hours, or that she would do the,
Yeah.
yes, or the replacement? What Marion was making?
Well, if we were to open it to out of. Like, open it to the, which it is open to the public, but to hire at that, I would assume it would be hired at that same rate, so.
At what same rate?
That the assistant director position was at,
Currently, yeah.
yes.
In the past, has it been a board decision for starting salary? Or has it been a director decision? I think when we hired you, there was a lower salary for a 1-year period, and then you came up to full salary.
I don't think, was it lower than what she was making though? Or was it?
With Sandra? Yeah, I can't remember. It wasn't a huge jump, was it? It was $1 an hour.
I can't.
And we weren't good at keeping track of it as a board. I remember you came to us when it was like 16 months and you're like, I was supposed to get a raise 4 months ago.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the commissioners don't govern that? For all the county employees, there's not a policy about that in the county?
I'm not.
We set the compensation according to statute.
Okay, the board does for that. Okay, it's just so different from
I
school.
think we approved, I think we, in the past we'd approved the budget, which contains the rates, but I don't think you haven't done like teacher negotiation for there's individual rates.
Right.
And that is,
So when we hired in Geraldine, when the previous employee quit, the new employee came in at that rate. And then the 2 times that we've hired in Big Sandy, the employee has come in at that same rate that the leaving person was at.
Okay, and so I know this happened right at the time that we adopted a new budget, but I'm just wondering if that means that because the assistant director position got a bump like everybody else.
Everybody did.
Because it was the new budget and the new year. So, but that didn't, I mean, Maren didn't get that because she left before she got the bump, right? And so we would hire then Sammy at that former without the bump. I just want to be clear on what we're doing here. Is that right?
You're asking, not telling.
Right, I'm asking because then it would be what the former Maren was making before July 1st.
Oh, so the current, okay, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Or I guess what you're saying makes sense.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I just want to make sure that so, I guess because, what always works for me is that, and I don't know if this is written into how we do this either, because I've never sat on this board where we've hired anybody. So, I'm just wondering, is there a period of probation? And if there is, at the end of that probation, then we could bump her up to what the bump would be if what we passed for the budget. Does that make sense?
For the director position, now it says 6 months.
Oh, 6 months, there's a probation period of
Well,
6.
that's how it was for mine, but I was not an in-county.
Yeah, she was a new employee, but I don't know. if it
I don't
makes a
know, is
difference.
there a probation period for a transfer?
But
It's
she
a
would
new
maybe
job.
already, right, but she would have maybe already had her probation being an in-county.
But for a different job,
Yeah.
so,
That's why I'm asking.
yeah.
In the past, when we've hired, there's been two competing factors. One is that we're competing with much higher paying jobs. I think at one point in the county had like a countywide meeting that's basically said the opening of the hemp plant may affect
And when
all
this came
county
out,
employees. Because now we had a direct competitor that was paying $2 to $3 more. So that's kind of what I was seeing is like how to keep it within the budget and fitting with other county pay and how to retain good employees.
And so then the question is, again, this substitute that you consider an in-house, but she's never been the custodian. So it seems like she should have a probation period.
I personally feel they both should, and I think for Sammy Jo, it will benefit her to have 6 months of probation and then a bump. I mean, other than just staying at.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that it would serve the purpose of giving her probation trial period. Plus, it would benefit her for a bump in salary. So it seems like a win-win to me.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing more encouraging than a little increase in salary. Doing a good job, yes.
So then for the custodial position, that would be the same. So
I-
the before the 76 cents.
I think so. I mean, I'm not,
appreciate both of your input on that.
yeah. And then whatever I don't know, do we set the probationary period or do we go back and look at the history of what it is? I mean, if it was 6 months for you, seems like 6 months is a good probationary period.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of standard. Some take it out to a year, but I think 6 months is. We're gonna know and they're gonna know. If they like the job, if we think they're doing a good job, I mean, we're gonna know. You especially are gonna know, so.
And we have the budget already established for us, so that's not a deterrent.
Okay, well, is there any further discussion in regard to that?
Well, I guess this is how I feel. I do not want. I mean, August 3rd is the time that you've set for Sammy to join the. Would that get put off if we kept it open to see if we get any applicants from
The
outside?
county policy is if you have a qualified in-county policy or a qualified in-county applicant that is recommended by the department head, but that's usually the department head makes the decision. I wasn't even sure about the hiring process. Because that's what the Chouteau County Personnel Manual says, is the department head.
That you would make the recommendation, but we would vote on the hire.
But she's very qualified. She's been with the county for, was hired in March of 2022 and has gotten a degree in that time. She got a K-8 degree. Has been working with the collection management, with all of those. She knows all of the processes, the computer program, all of that. Very highly qualified.
She has a K-8 education degree. Okay.
So back to my question of, if we keep it open and we don't vote on, hiring Sammy Jo or the librarian and Geraldine today, would that push back the hire date because we would leave we would wait to see if we got any outside applicants? That's my question.
Can we legally advertise?
We did, we opened it, didn't we?
But only
I did
in-house.
check with Steve and you can. do
And then
both,
you
just to keep
advertise.
But that
it-
does not mean that you have to.
No,
hire
that's
them.
not, that's
Okay.
not what I'm saying,
I don't
but,
think it's-
yeah,
Okay, so yes, it's not a legal issue if we advertise outside of county.
no.
Not according to Steve. So,
Right.
so again, I'm not getting an answer. Does nobody have
I
an
don't
answer
have
to
an
that?
answer to that.
Okay, okay. So, because I mean, is there some problem with not having an assistant director for maybe the rest of the summer? Does anyone know an issue?
I would
that
imagine
come
filling your time slots.
It's, with the August, like I can cover until the August 3rd, but it is.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not been great.
you can't get sick.
To nothing, pretty much. And she will be able to start doing some of the, training that she will need. I will be able to do that with her
During this time.
during this time period. Which I would not necessarily be able to do with someone from outside of the.
I think what I'd like to do is this, since this is a potential action item, is move forward with a motion and, see where we get with. Excuse me.
Do you want a motion?
Let's do
Do
two.
you want
Two
a
motions,
We need
please.
two
Yep.
motions.
A motion, one for accepting our application for our assistant director. I'll start there first, please. So if I could entertain
I'll make
a
a
motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the assistant director application.
Okay, and is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, is there any further discussion?
So does this motion say that we are hiring Sandy Jo?
Yes. For the position.
assistant.
Okay.
But we haven't voted yet. We just have a
No,
motion
we
on
just
the
have a
table.
motion,
Okay, so
and then,
But that's what it is.
So we can discuss it.
yep,
Yeah.
any further discussion? All right, and is there any public comment? All right, it's been moved and seconded to accept our assistant director application. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Aye.
You're saying no?
No.
Okay. And I break that tie at, I would say yes. So that motion carried. And then, I would entertain a motion to accept our custodial application.
I make a motion to accept our custodial application.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Okay, excuse me, is there any further discussion?
Now, just because I don't know who this person
Yeah.
is, so this is somebody that's been volunteering, is on the county payroll.
She volunteers, but she has been substituting. She is on the payroll. Also,
Okay.
she started as a volunteer and became a substitute and is on the payroll.
While this, since Marin.
She's been on the
before
payroll
that.
for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, since you started.
As custodian?
She's subbed for a variety of, she's subbed custodial, she's subbed at the desk. She has subbed in a variety of positions.
And tell me the name again.
Sophia Stewart.
Okay.
Grew up on a farm out by Riverview Colony.
Okay, I think I know who we're talking
Yeah.
about. Sorry, I
No,
just.
that's
Right.
okay. Any further discussion? Any public comment?
Yeah. Are you guys going to be interviewing these people or are you just voting in?
Her
Hiring them now?
recommendations.
These are just recommendations, so you're actually going to interview.
We have not interviewed them.
All right,
Again, for county policy, that's for in-county transfers, that's the procedure.
all right, any further public comment? All right, it's been moved and seconded to accept our custodial application. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? Motion carried. All right. Our next item on the agenda is a mediation proposal. As you are all aware here, there was a grievance filed. This was given to the commissioners and Steve Gannon. I was looped in on the actual grievance, but it is not recommended that the entire board sees this. This came from HR. The only reason, I was looped in was as board chair, but, our commissioners and Steve Gannon worked together. They feel like the best way to move forward with the mediation, with the grievance, is to have a mediation. But they're asking us to foot that bill. So I'm asking for discussion over that. If there's any questions for me that I can possibly try and answer.
Do we know the cost, or is this gonna be covered by that new? That we just.
HR.
This
Yes,
is not
yes.
unfortunately covered by Human Resources because they are recommending a specific lawyer that is local. So it would be a cost that we would have to accrue. I have not been told the actual amount, but I can double check.
No estimated amount or
No
anything?
estimated amount on the
I
hourly.
think Steve Gannon knows that,
Okay.
And we can check with
but
them.
because he's the one that set it up
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
through the.
So
or
we're
in
supposed to
conjunction
vote,
with-
pay for something we don't know the cost?
Yeah,
And I would think the county would be legally required to follow through a grievance process to the end.
well,
I'm sorry, didn't get one.
Well, there's a process for filing a grievance, that's a
Mhm.
county policy. I would
that's
think
what they're
it-
doing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's part of their role.
Mhm.
It's kind of like they can't charge the landlord to plow the snow in front of the road. That's part of what they do.
Sure.
So I don't think we should be required to pay
Sure.
when it's part of the county as a whole, that they handle grievances the county employees put forth.
Understand. Okay. Any further discussion?
It also seems a bit adversarial for staff to lose funds because they filed a grievance.
I think what was encouraged was that staff would still be on the clock. They would have their travel time and their wages while they're in this mediation. They would not lose anything.
So their pay wouldn't be docked, but the
No,
county
right,
budget, or the
exactly.
library budget would take the hit.
Yes, unfortunately. Any further discussion or questions?
I'm gonna say, since I'm a lawyer and I've been through zillions of mediations, that oftentimes, real progress is made and that things are resolved that would otherwise not get resolved without mediation. I don't know why, but there's something about telling your story, saying it out in front of someone who's listening, who's very neutral, who has no axe to grind, and proposing solutions, ways to look at it. I mean, I just have seen it, primarily in the family law situation, but also in contractual situations. And so I think that mediation is a good avenue to pursue with regard to a grievance like this.
Any other further discussion?
I would agree.
I appreciate that comment. Not ever having had any experience.
Oh, yeah, it's a kind of amazing how well it works, really, especially if you have someone who knows what they're doing mediating.
Yeah.
And and I'm sure Steve has chosen someone.
Okay.
That because you can hardly function as a lawyer these days without mediating, so or having been through mediation. So I'm sure Steve knows what he's doing in that regard, in choosing who he's chosen.
Okay.
Are we making a decision on the mediation or just making a decision on if we'll pay for the mediation that needs to occur?
The mediation is already happening.
Okay, it's just, do we pay or does the county pay?
That would be the vote. Yes. So I would entertain, if there's no more discussion, I would entertain a motion.
But we don't know what it costs.
No, but I could check in with Steve. If we want to hold off, I could. But I would entertain a motion so that if we're okay moving forward, the mediation could occur and we could have that taken care of.
I move we, move forward and, pay. Or if the county commissioners absolutely refuse to pay, that we pay this because this involves our staff and I think it's the right thing to do.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to, pay for the mediation that has been proposed by the county commissioners and our county attorney. Is there any further discussion? Is there any public comment?
This is Annie Gonzalez again. Maybe the possibility of asking the county to split that because it's a county employee and a limited budget. That's just an idea.
I appreciate that, Annie. Thank you. Any further public comment? All right, it's been moved and seconded that we accept, the mediation proposal for, the bill for the mediation proposal. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All, Somebody said aye.
Did you say motion again?
Sorry, I did not say that clearly. It's been moved and seconded that we, pay for the mediation that has been proposed for the grievance that was presented to us. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Yeah.
Okay, that, motion passed. And our last thing on our agenda today is a trustee appreciation. Kim, you have given us 10 years here at the library and we're so thankful. What you've done for the library and the foundation.
Well, really, you've given 10 years of the work done here as a chair. This is your last meeting as a chair.
That's right.
Right.
We appreciate you. Thank you for all that you've done.
It was a really nice final year with you.
You're very kind. So, round of applause for.
We're all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And thank you, Emily, for getting her such a nice basket together.
Yeah. Flowers and
Yeah,
coffee
I
and
thought I
cookies.
think on the street.
All right, our final on our agenda is public comment items not on the agenda, but under the jurisdiction of the board. Once again, please come up to the microphone, state your full name and 3 minutes, please. All right, none online. All right, our next meeting is July 22nd, 2026. This is at noon and it is in Fort Benton. I'd like to adjourn this meeting. Can I have a motion?
I move the adjourn meeting. 12:59.
I second.
Been moved and seconded that we adjourn the meeting at 12:59. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thanks, ladies.
So I will not be at the children's meeting.